Welcome to Speak Now, the podcast where we break down the biggest social, political, and societal issues of our time. No filter, no holding back. I'm Libby, and I'm here to dive into the conversations that matter, spark those tough questions, and amplify the voices that need to be heard. Whether it's politics, climate change, or the culture shift shaping our future, we're not here for surface level chatter, we're here to get into the heart of it all. So if you're ready to speak your mind and hear what others have to say, you're in the right place. Let's get started. You're listening to Speak Now. So, today we're talking with Tate, who's our crime representative for the Youth Council. I'd like to speak to Tate and ask him about what he does as the crime representative for our community.
So we head up the campaign called Leave a Knife, Save a Life, based on Instagram. We also work alongside local policing teams to create strategies around ways of dealing with knife crime and education and sport.
That is extremely interesting. Now, I'd like to ask you what you feel about the current education around knife crime and how you feel we could improve it.
So to be fair, I think in some aspects we are lacking around education of knife crime, as not many young people are aware of consequences, common law around knife crime and effects of it. So in that aspect of things, we could really do with more education around knife crime in schools, definitely.
Yes, I definitely agree. So I also wondered, what do you think about the topic of why do we feel that young people think they need to have a knife on them? And why do you believe young people, although they may not realise it's wrong, choose to have a knife on them?
Well, there's many different ways you can interpret this. So some young people, it's through choice. Other people can be brought in through family background, whether it be gang violence or other stuff like that. I know for me personally, the school that I went to, a lot of the lads who are in my year, who I still speak to, have gone down this route. Some of them, lucky enough, have come out the other side and now come away from that. But fortunately, some of them still continue and have been stabbed themselves.
That is extremely interesting once again. So you've talked about your friends and how they've been stabbed. Obviously, I know you work a lot in A&E with young people and you know a lot about the medical side, so I wanted to ask you, what do you believe the effects of stab wounds are, and is there any way you could explain it to a person that may not understand?
Yeah, so I would explain a stabbing is like when you have a bottle of water and you put a pencil through it. The pencil is acting as a plug, so minimal water is coming out, not insignificant. But the moment you pour that pencil, it becomes a gush of water comes out. So that's same with blood and the stab wound. But these knives nowadays that we're seeing, such as the zombie knives, Rambo knives, they're designed that when you pull out something like that, it has a edge or a hole, which is called a blood hole. So the blood hole allows you to pull that knife out, use it again, and pull it out again, use it again. In the way it stops the vacuum of the blood. So whereas with a normal kitchen knife, if you stab someone, the blood creates a vacuum keeping that knife in, which it's hard to pull out. So these knives are being designed for one thing and one thing only, to inflict maximum amount of injury on the victim.
So, on the topic of zombie knives, do you feel that that's something that should be banned? And if you do feel that, what do you think we can do to work towards it being banned?
So at current, they have been banned, but they are still popping up quite regularly within the knife crime scene, especially around Merseyside itself as a whole. These knives are being taken from different places to places to be used by young people. And again, we have found alternatives to put solutions in to place. So like if a young person wants to come into St. Helens and felt like they didn't want to carry a knife anymore or wanted to give that knife up, we are looking at getting an amnesty set up around where if they come in and they give the knife up, or you can either have a free gym session for 7 days, 7 day gym pass to Hammer MMA, and or you can go to a boxing gym in Paul and do 7 days of sessions for free, paid for by Merseyside Police. We're still in the process of trying to find a way of setting this up safely and the risk assessments, but I do intend to get this put forward and get this in place, because I believe for young people it could prove vital.
I definitely agree with that. I'd also like to ask, do you work with any other foundations or groups of people that are against knife crime, and is there any sort of things that you work on with these groups to also benefit your campaign? And is there sort of maybe opportunities for people to get involved with not just your group but also other people's groups?
Yeah, so I work with a number of different partnerships within partnership with them. Some of them being within St. Helens, like Martin Murray, big boss. I have connections to him, and in programs I have connections to Daniel Fox and some stuff that they do. I've been a part of with them. They have the Adam Ellison within Prescott, and they have the Daniel G. Jameson in Liverpool, along with the Ava White Foundation, who I have links to. And again, with the knife crime sort of things, you can get into it by any means, really. It's not just my campaign. There's multiple campaigns who do that, like Soul Brothers in Kirby. They deal with men's mental health, and it's a group of young people for young men speaking about mental health, that side of things. No knives, no, just a boxing session and quiet yoga session for young people to speak about mental health. Because again, knife crime can lead to the mental health as well.
Hello, my name's Layla and I'm the mental health rep. Hey, how would you say that knife crime affects mental health?
So we have what's called the ripple effect. That it's how a victim's family, for instance, would feel after a knife crime incident. So recently, I had some people speak to me about the ripple effect, families of victims. So some of them I can speak about here, some of them obviously I can't for naming reasons. But so one from a woman called Mandy Jameson, whose son unfortunately died. He was Daniel. And it says, "The day my son died is now, yesterday, and forever. You will say, but Daniel died nearly 7 years ago. So unfortunately, my son dies every morning that I wake. But that is the ripple effect of knife crime."
It's a sad story. Do you think mental health can be a reason for someone carrying a knife?
Yeah, mental health can be a fear factor within knife crime. So some young people think that if they don't carry a knife on the streets, that they may get stabbed. And that's the sad reality of it, is that some of these young people are carrying knives and they don't realise that in a situation where they pull it out, 9 times out of 10, their knife is used on them.
Hello, I'm Daniel Monaghan. So, Ted, how do you feel you're going to educate kids on knife crime? Are you going to do it in sort of an event?
So lately, we've been eyeing up an event that we're planning to do on the 29th of May, which is a protest within Prescott, Knowsley, by way of a march with young people. It's a free event to come to, anyone can attend. And we're going to have some speakers around victims' families of knife crime coming to speak. And it will start at 9, I believe, at Prescott Town Hall, and should finish around 4:30.
Thanks for the information, Dave. If you have any queries, please contact us on social media at St. Helens. Youth Council.
or we have any Q&A questions on Leave a Life, Save a Life on Instagram. Please like, follow and share. Thank you.
That is all for today, folks. We'll join you at the next podcast. Goodbye.